Here's the guide for factoring polynomials. We need to start with the common monomial factoring. Then whatever will be the result, we're going to categorize them as to whether the result is a binomial, trinomial, or multinomial, and we have specific processes under specific results. Then we end it. Let's start with this polynomial. Based on our guide earlier, we need to start factoring this polynomial using the common monomial factoring, or the greatest common factor. So we are going to look for these two terms here, since this is a binomial, and we're going to look for the greatest common factor for both literal and numerical coefficients and factor them out. And whatever will be the result of the new binomial after factoring out the common monomial factor, we are going to examine if we could still factor it out using the binomial steps. It's to either it's a difference of two squares, difference of two cubes, or sum of two cubes, or if it doesn't fit with any criteria, then we end our process. So for this, we have two terms as mentioned. We have 36xy minus 6y squared. We are going to take the common factor first of the numerical coefficients 36 and 6. With this, we are going to factor out their common factor, and we know that their common factor is 6. In short, we take it out 6. But we are not yet done, since there might be another factor that could be removed, and that pertains to our literal coefficients here. But before we go to that, of course, once you take out 6 from 36, and from here, the new numerical coefficients of the binomial would be different. But let's just start with factoring way of the literal coefficient. Here, xy. The second, y squared. The common factor for the literal coefficients is the common variable that can be found in both with the best degree of exponent. When you say best degree of exponent, the lowest. So here we have x and y. We have y squared here. Their common factor or common variable is y. And we pick the first degree of y, since here we only have one y, and here we have two y's multiplied to each other. So the greatest common factor, or the common monomial factor for these two terms, is 6y. Then we have the remaining binomial. When we take out 6, we are just dividing 36 by that. So when we say factoring, we are going to use the division process. So 36 divided by 6, you will have 6. When you take out y from the first term, you are left with x. Now, if you're not convinced with this, you can always try to multiply. You will get 6 times 6, 36. Y times x is yx or xy. So you will still get 36xy. That's for the first term. For the second term, we are still going to use minus here for this. And since we take out 6, we have here 1. We retain 1. And for factoring y from y squared, you will have y to the power of 1. So this is what happens to the second term. But since we usually do not write 1 here, we could rewrite this in this form. The factors of our given polynomial is the monomial 6y and the binomial 6x minus y. So this is the correct answer, or the better answer, for this given polynomial. Again, you could always try to check again. 6 times 6 is 36, y times x is xy. You have your first term. And when you multiply it here, you will have 6 times negative 1 or minus 6. And y times y, you will get y squared. This is the answer. The next factor we're looking for is for our next subscriber. Subscribe now!